byakege mu mwancho muligereri w'Ensoko TV aigana Ensoko TV cyabere Chinsa isano ibere cyabona mu baso nande ngo kwarigania SMS ya Amayia nemo no tonyara ko batoko manyibu nagendete gwateka kurwase Chinsemo aho bunabasaki baito banyare ko babako ya bugati nako yalentaga iga elitonyara ko batoko manye naboko enda gutubugati ya sensemeli ya YouTube Ensoko TV ogenda sensemeli ya Facebook no gutubugati ya buna Ensoko TV nabo igona bugonyara ko bagotobekera ujumbe yago no gutumanyikira kigendete ko korekana se Chinsemo aho mwancho muligereri gati yali tubugata sumu basobono ni nkwa nenene y'umurayi wense Dr. William Ruto iyo anyartaka bagakuru igoro gocha asaba Kenya tiga nkwariga ni litaliane ni Innocent Onyango Oncho muligereri ense ya Kenya nigo yabekiro buroso bwogosoa ase para yokoba aserumbe yechinse kibwata magendo yekerengo kigoro yene nkwana y'umurayi wense Dr. William Ruto oyu oruete gosotebete abakenya wetera se nkwana yae eyo kwaneretense ime ya magacho amanene yebunge.
2 years ago, when I delivered my first State of the Nation address, I had a vision to sell. Today, I have a story to tell. A story written not in the quiet offices or the comfort of boardrooms, but out in the blazing sun of our farms, in the dust of construction sites where our affordable homes now rise, and in the grit of our community health workers, doctors, medical professionals, who refuse to surrender in the quest for universal health coverage. It is written in the steady hum of our factories, in the determination of millions daring to dream and finance their vision through the Hustler Fund, in the courage of our young people working on housing sites, in the Climate Works program, in the digital ecosystem, and in the bravery of those who, looking beyond our borders, have sought livelihoods abroad to sustain families back home.
Murai wense nigo amentrego teba emerobeli emiya abegetekero airete oborai wense nigo yachenchire sector y'oburimi na nigo yairere lige sa commenta na magoli yendagira koira nanse.
The impact has been phenomenal. Productivity in all our agricultural sectors has gone up. National maize harvests have risen from 44 million bags in 2022 to 67 million bags in 2024, setting the stage for a historic harvest this year of 70 million bags. The results are visible in markets and homes. The price of a 2-kilogram packet of flour has fallen from what it was 250 in 2022 to as low as 130 today. For millions of households, this is meaningful daily relief. The transformation across our value chains is equally compelling. Tea production has grown, with earnings rising from Kenya shillings 138 billion in 2022 to Kenya shillings 215 billion in 2024.
Wego umurai wense ni government atakoteba eserikali yae yabikire merobelio yokorora oburimi nguche gukina bure na nemene gokorekana se Chinsemo kirikire chieroro asokwagacha amabwago amanene
of rain-fed agriculture. We can no longer allow the clouds to determine whether our people eat or not. We are able to produce enough for domestic consumption and exports. Expanded modern irrigation is now necessity and the only path forward. We are endowed, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, with arable land, yet we all know only 15% of Kenya can support rain-fed agriculture. And this limited area is what we have relied on to feed the entire nation. While 85% of Kenya does not receive sufficient rainfall, if we harvested and stored rainwater, we can bring vast arable lands in these arid and semi-arid regions into productive use. With the dams, we can transform our arid and semi-arid areas into hubs of agricultural production, even in the absence of rainfall. We must never give up on the potential of these regions simply because they receive little rain. And we must never confuse the lack of rain with a lack of water. This is why we must build at least 50 mega dams nationwide, alongside 200 additional medium and small dams and thousands of micro dams to collect and store water.
Kalonzo Musyoka bwe kiama kia Wiper Patriotic Front omochirie serikali boige kiombe kia IBC asatebire nigo bali nekirenga kyogo chikoiba chikura chobo chorio boke obule mutwe amatuko amake kurubono kukwana kurwa asa magachamaneye kia mekyo kia YPF nigo anyarikoba kago komochie kia kakomochie serikali na goteba nigo achikoba maiso na koranga chikule chyo chiabo tichiri chikoba chikoibwa.
Our youth rejected the shift mismanagement that cost their loved ones access to healthcare services. Kenyans from across the country rejected the housing levy that is nothing short of a slush fund, a scam of the highest order. Of course, we'll be going on to clarify that as part of our agenda, we will not, of course, demolish those houses. They belong to Kenyans. We will, however, do away with housing levy, and William Ruto's government has amassed so much out of that. But so far, the signs are not as reassuring as Kenyans deserve. It is time for the Commission to step up for the sake of our democracy, the sake of our country. Marajan receives instructions from State House through the former commissioner who is in charge of ICT, who is Ruto's political advisor. So he doesn't care about the opposition reaching out to us. It doesn't. We would gladly want, by the way, I'm telling you, after all this, we are going to go ourselves and sit with them and tell them it is not about them, it's about the country. Kwa hivyo mambo haya na umuhimu mkubwa sana. Lakini wewe bwana sikiza, sisi hatununui uoga, are we afraid? Leaving registration kits open without clear safeguards risks misuse. The Commission must explain exactly what data these kits capture and ensure strict quality controls, including independent audits once registration closes. Number 5, the transfer of voters must follow the law to the letter. Every transfer should begin with a written request from the voter and only proceed after full verification of residency and compliance with all legal requirements.
Muraiwense William Ruto nigo aetirie na kobekese ijibili akoba machiko bene litukolia lere egati ijibili chyo delia yokoligerelia enchira yokurusigwa kwebango imeyense Ruto niga aetie ijibili chyo na kobali chiko kurwa ase nyumba y'Oburaiwense egaiga State House nabo igo niga machika yo arachikoba gago chaka gokora emirimo egeka kiamatuko 18 alebosio.
The government and parliament to make doing business in Kenya easy. Under the current Section 29 of the Capital Markets Act, there's a requirement that the shareholding for different players under capital markets, that is stock brokers and investment banks, that the shareholdings are limited by law. Now Parliament decided, for purposes of flexibility and making Kenya more competitive, should give those powers, delegate those powers to the Cabinet Secretary so that those decisions are made on flexible basis and to reflect the global markets so as to attract more investments in the Republic of Kenya. The bill is short, Your Excellency, and it provides that it will come into force after 14 days following its assent. Your Excellency, the second bill to come before you is a small one. The Provisional Collection of Taxes Repeal Bill, simply a cleanup of our law book. The last one, Your Excellency, is a government Owned Enterprises Bill, the GOE Bill 2025. This bill was introduced in the National Assembly by the leader of the majority party, having been received from the cabinet through the Office of the Attorney General. The bill, Your Excellency, introduces new ways in which the government will be making investments in its own entities. It provides for, number one, for a public entity to be, for a government-owned enterprise to be created, there must be a business logic behind it. It must be able to run on its own without being funded by the exchequer. It must be able to run on its own without asking for more money from the taxpayers. The bill also provides, Your Excellency, that there is a list of 65 hitherto state corporations and another 18 which will henceforth be registered under the Companies Act as government enterprises, and they be reformed in accordance with this law. The idea is to streamline the commercial operations of all government enterprises so that it makes commercial sense to the people of Kenya.
Mibere y'abantu 50 basiri ogima bwabo kubwatekana no kwanyuka kwa magana maiga yembura enyinge gutwa semo ya Chesongochi imeye county Elgeyo Marakwet niwe yarusigo asinkendu bosibwaye asera chikwanirwa asensemeyemo eyurabe ekinyolyo kyomubasokano oyo omobe.
Mimi ni mmoja ya wale ambao wamepoteza jamii. Nimepoteza watu 8 katika jamii yangu. Mmoja wao ni baba yangu mzazi, anaitwa Christopher Chelimo. Na dada yake ambaye ni andi yangu amepoteza familia yake watu 6.
Licha ya hayo bado eneo hilo linahitaji msaada mkubwa aswa kwa makao. Watu hawana makao. Unaona mporomoko huo ulipomoa manyumba, mawe yamefunika kabisa, mashamba hawana. So imekuwa ni ile shida yenye iko kwa mawazo ya watu ni after kuwazika wataenda wapi.
The Catholic Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Eldoret, together with the clergy, will be leading a funeral mass at 9 a.m. and thereafter we shall be able to put to rest our loved ones just nearby the place of the mass, that is near St. Maurus. We will be putting them in one place, but not in one grave, separate graves, but in the same compound, so that we can have a mausoleum in remembrance of this very unfortunate landslide incident.
Umusangerekano bwoko balenta abarundi ab'ekipikipiki n'ekikampani ky'abawo n'ekipikipiki kolekanira sensemo ya Kajiado sabaoni abo barule obasemye gokyasa abarundi abo kulende ebintu biri bibekire ase ekipikipiki kyo elioko nyarakaba bagomanya kera kyanyaraka bakikoibwa nonyarabo esegeto naro nigo yaruru gokyasa abarundi abo koba maiso na kwerusia kurwa ase bikorwa biri bikonyaraka bikobwatanirwa n'obubago n'obuibi.
Tunajua kwamba tumekuwa na challenge ya pikipiki zinapotea mysteriously, lakini wametunga mkono, wamesema ya kwamba watasaidiana pamoja na sisi ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba tuna reduce ama tunahakikisha kwamba ni zero disappearing of our motorbikes, aswa zile ambazo zinasemekana zinapotea wakati malipo imeelekea kufika mwisho. Tunaweka measures na mikakati ya kufuatilia na kujua kwamba tuhakikisha kwamba tuna minimize hiyo kabisa hapa Kajiado.
So tumeguzia vitu kadhaa za security features. Tukumbuke ile tracking device kwa upande wetu ni ile tu ya kufuatilia pikipiki, lakini pia tumeweza kuguzia sababu pia wanabodaboda wako na zile security measures kwa zile stages na kwa kila mahali ambayo wanabebea. So tumeweza kuwahimiza pia washirikiane.
So kwa sababu ya mambo ya kiusalama pia wametuhakikishia kwamba watajaribu kuangalia vile pikipiki zetu zitakuwa secured sana wakati unamalizia zile loans. Ndio kitu tumeulizia sana kwa sababu pikipiki zimekuwa zikipotea wakati loan inakaribia kuisha.
Na omwelia abana bake nigo bagosereri gochyo gosaganwa na amaigelio ni mbwembe kurwa aso mtandao kubwatekana na oike kiombe keme kigikwegera wene bwa bana bakubwaterana n'abamanyi bo mutandao nigo basabire serikali gwitira se bunge nene korosia machiko arakonyo bulindi bwa bana abo ekera bagotumika omutandao.
Social media is a necessary evil, and the content creators are right now. Previously, we have had a lot of benefits from the mainstream media. We have trained them over and over, and we know them very well. Right now, we can never accuse them of unethical reporting or storytelling. Unfortunately, social media, with all its benefits, right now it threatens or actually has successfully aborted the gains of the mainstream empowerment. We need to start somewhere, start training them, train the social actors in the hope that if we can, they can duplicate the benefits of this training, that is have ethical or more responsible reporting.
So content creators should understand what child protection is and ensure that they abide by the rules of child protection. If you have to report about a child out there, do it in the right way. Protect that child. If it's a photo, don't put them out there without consent. Just abide by the rules of child protection.
We need to protect our children on what they are watching. So whatever I'm doing to protect them is unajua uwezi mnyima mtoto simu. So ukimpea simu unahakikisha that all the apps that hafai ku access umezi lock, and pia yenye anafaa ku access unaweka security code that wewe mwenyewe unafaa ku verify ndio access, na pia una make sure whatever the child is accessing iko na history yenye unaweza angalia history ya Kenya amekuwa akiwatch.
Wancho muligeli wekirabo na ikiro mweri bwa Amayia na muna nakumanyire niko chietire chiteka 19 maiga Chinsa isano bire cyabono mugaso chika Chinsa Ikomi dani mwaga naira nega iganera kumanyia ali agendete kokorekana ase Chinsemo baliki baito nigo bare ase Chinsemo bagendete kubwatia buna agendete kokorekana nene mono ngo tebigendera kubwatia mirobeli ito kuruga igase gitaseni kiao na mbeya mugion Soko TV na asobwango iga umurobeli bwa oya ngo chorega iga rero bakaliko yorokanga Friday edition abuno kunyara kabaga konyora chingero na onyara kabaga kokokigwa na nemono buno musaye onyara kabaga gosege twilitalia Innocent Onyango tubwatie Soko TV.
Eye Soko TV.